Hi, everyone. Welcome. Come in, come in. Today we are so excited. Welcome to the Q&A for the Millionaire Course. It's based on Marc's book, but it's a brand new course. It's going to be very supportive, very collaborative. Everyone's going to get a chance to talk to Marc the whole way through. So we figured if you guys had any questions before you joined us, we would just hop on and answer them for you. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Marc. Hello, Marc.
Hi, Amber. Great. Yeah, if people have questions, they can just pop it in the chat room.
Absolutely. We've got our list, but if you didn't get a chance to submit, if something else comes to mind, go ahead and pop it in the chat and we will get you taken care of.
Great. Okay, let's just start the way I like to start everything with just a brief meditation. Just get comfortable, loosen your belt if you're like me, and get comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and just feel that light energy at the very top of your head, the crown of your head. And as you exhale, just let it filter slowly down through your whole body, healing and cleansing and purifying every cell. One more deep breath again. Feel it at the top of your head going down through your body. Releasing, relaxing, letting everything go, all tension, all stress, all anxiety. Just let it go. One more third breath and just release and relax as you let it go through your whole body and let all thought go. Just feel that vibrant, wonderful stillness within. Feel that wonderful presence, that body of conscious awareness that we have. Realize we're far greater than this physical body. We are this field of awareness, this field of consciousness. And in that field, we can magically create what we want in our lives just through the realm of our imagination. Imagination is thought. Thought is creative power. So just affirm something like, I love and serve myself. Whoops. Somebody just came in. I love and serve myself. And I love and serve others. And then we'll turn this into an abundance meditation, a very brief one. Just imagine, by loving and serving yourself, you are fulfilled, literally. You're filled with this creative energy. Fulfilled. And just imagine that energy radiating out to the world, where you're sharing your unique gifts with the world. And you say, I love and serve others. I love and serve myself and others, and feel your creative energy, your wonderful, unique gifts that you have to share with the world. Feel them radiating out in all directions, affecting everyone you come into contact with in any way. You're sharing your energy. And as a result, then, feel all this energy come back to you. You're loving and serving others, and so they are loving and serving you. And feel that you are in this truly abundant world, this ocean of abundance. And you are filled with everything you need. You are able to create the life that you desire. You put out your dream in your mind. You put that energy out there. You share your gifts with the world. And it all comes back to you in incredible, beautiful, wonderful, magical, mysterious abundance, making you completely healthy, wealthy, and wise. So be it. So it is. A little abundance meditation. We do live in an abundant universe. I remember vividly my 20s when I lived in a world of total scarcity, scrounging to pay the rent. And I finally did some seminars that looked at my beliefs about things. And I was able to change those beliefs. And lo and behold, the whole world changed. The whole world changed. I remember having dinner with the first rich person I met when I was 28. And he said, you know, I'm similar to you, but where you're scrounging for your next $100, I just scrounged for my next 100,000. And that became a Zen koan. I actually really pondered, is that all there is to it? Adding a couple zeros to what I need. Because I do remember thinking when I was scrounging to pay the rent every month, I thought, you know, it's almost magical. I managed to come up with the rent every month, just barely. But I came up with the rent every month, having no job for a long time, no family support, no savings or anything. It was magical how I just had enough. And I then started to realize that I can add some zeros to my dreams here and create the same thing, but on a much bigger scale. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm happy to sit here and answer these questions about the course. And our friend Vismai is here too to share his experience, because one of the best things about doing this course, the best thing, is the amount of people the number of people that have contacted me and said, this has changed my life. This is good stuff, Marc. It's and often then they'll tell me the before and after story, and they're just wonderful. It's the best thing for me to know that I have affected other people. And I look at the first question, it's a wonderful question. What inspired you to create this course? And what inspired me was just my own experience. I started to want to share it with other people. I was with Shakti Gawain at the time, and we go to all these workshops, we did all these things, we learned the core belief process, which we will get into. And she just was one of these people who wanted to share everything she learned with everyone she knew, with all her friends, with her mother, she just kept sharing and sharing. And it grew into leading some seminars. And it grew into her writing a book called Creative Visualization. And it grew into me writing Millionaire Course. And the whole book, the whole course, in one way, was based on what I did the day of my 30th birthday. The things I did on my 30th birthday changed my life. And looking back, I really believe I was a different person in the evening of my 30th birthday than I was in the morning. I woke up in the morning, it was another typical day until I realized it was my birthday and I was 30. Oh no. So I spent the day pacing up and down. But in the morning, my first thought was often, Shakti used to laugh about this. How do I get $1.25 together for my latte? I loved going out for a latte. And so I needed to generate $1.25 to do that. How do I do that? Do I go sell a book or something? The used bookstore loved me. I'd bring in books that I'd found and get a couple bucks and go have my latte. So that was me in the morning. By the evening, what somebody.
Uh-oh, Mark, now you're muted. Technical difficulties. Mark, see if you can unmute yourself. I'm having trouble doing it for you.
Oh,
You got
there. Yeah, sorry. Is that, you can hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
Yep,
Yeah.
all good.
Okay. By the evening of my 30th birthday, I had assembled most of the tools that I have written about in Millionaire Course. I had written my ideal scene. I imagined 5 years had passed and everything had gone as well as I could imagine. Much to my amazement, I wrote, I have a successful publishing company. I hadn't had a job in a couple of years. I'd had a rock band that had fallen apart. I'd just been scrounging. In the morning, I had no goal. I had no destination. And if you're like a ship in the ocean with no destination, what are you going to do? Just wander around. By the evening, I had a clear set of goals based on my ideal scene. I wrote my ideal scene, the life I wanted to live, the life of my dreams in 5 years. And then I stared at it and realized within there is a list of goals, and I listed all my goals. 1, start a publishing company. 2, start writing a book. 3, start recording your music. 4, start learning about real estate. It was all start this, start that, because I had nothing happening. I made a list of 12 goals. And then I'd studied about the power of affirmations, and I rewrote each goal as an affirmation. I am now creating a successful publishing company in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, in its own perfect time for the highest good of all. I'm now writing a wonderful, powerful book in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, in its own perfect time for the highest good of all. I rewrote every one of my goals as an affirmation. Then, for each goal, as I stared on it, and I don't even remember if it's that day, it was probably over the next few days, plans started to emerge, concrete plans. And I literally wrote my plans in 1 page. Then I got myself a notebook, a folder. On the front of it, I put, I am now creating the life of my dreams. And I put in there my ideal scene, my goals as affirmations, and my 1-page plans that emerged. Literally for my business, my 1-page plan was, the goal at the top, I am now creating a successful company in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, in its own perfect time for the highest good of all. Number 1, seeing I knew nothing about business and never taken any course at all or whatever, I wrote, read a used business 101 textbook. Number 2, talk to people who I know, who know more about business than I do, and find out, learn about business. And that was it. That was my entire 1-page plan for the creation of my company, which became a publishing company called New World Library. But that was my initial plan. 2 steps, that's all I could take. And I learned that's all you need to take. All you need to have is that clear goal in mind. And then the first step or 2. When you take those, then the next step is revealed. And
Yeah.
so I did that. And then it just led to naturally writing a book about it and creating a course about it. And over the years, I've had wonderful people contact me with their stories. And one of the most amazing has been Vismai, who I've been talking to for, I don't know, a year or something. I don't know. And so we've invited him to just to share his story or whatever he was to share at this point. Please join us.
Hi, Bismai.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm in Singapore at the moment. I won't go too much into the story, but this work, it's just been such a concrete roadmap for us. We're really practical people. We're also super spiritual people, but we're very pragmatic. And because of Marc's soft, gentle nature, we were just really attracted to this possibility of, is it possible to be financially really successful without needing to bulldoze your way through life, you know? So I picked up this book in this little bookstore in Tasmania, and I just read that blurb in a healthy and relaxed manner, you know, healthy, positive way, for the highest good of all, own perfect timing, fill in the blank, you know? And I read that book maybe 50 times. It became like a little Bible for me that I just carried all the time. I read all the keys. Even just hearing you speak now, Marc, because I'm so familiar with your material, it might sound sometimes not so concrete when Marc wraps it into a story, but when you wrap it into your own story, it becomes extremely pragmatic. So we use these keys literally. You know, I still have never worked on a Monday. I've been a chiropractor for almost 30 years. And my work week still starts on a Tuesday at 3 o'clock. It wasn't like that initially before I read the book. You know, I thought Monday, 8 o'clock, let's go. So we just got a really relaxed tone with this whole thing. A couple of really great things that happened with the 10% solution book from Marc. He said, you know, save 10% for a dream, give 10% away, and it's 10% for emergencies. And we started saving just to travel around the world. We just started saving 10 euros a day. And we did it automatically, and we saved it for 8.5 years. And then we actually went through quite a marriage crisis. And the fact that we'd been dreaming and saving for this world trip with our 2 children was the impetus to kind of save our marriage. So I was so grateful for that. Like, not only has this work been financially amazing, spiritually amazing, it's just really kept our family intact, actually. Like, all our family's going to be doing the course now with Marc. Our kids are now 21 and 18, and they know this material just through us, but it's time for them now to not get caught up in the whole go, go, go world. You know, we live on Bali. We've been living on Bali for 10 years now. So the work really, a lot of repetition with it. Sometimes you think it's really too simple. It's the urge of your mind to want more complexities around becoming a millionaire. It's still there for me. So I love coming back to the simple message, you know, just to hear Marc make a 1-page plan and just take the next step, just, you know, bit by bit. And that really worked for us, you know. So we sold our company in 2013. And don't get me wrong, we're not big multi-gazillionaires. We're little chiropractors, right? You know, but we've used Marc's principles to be able to afford a 5-year holiday after we sold our company. We've kept our health intact. We've managed to somehow keep the family together. And we've had a really, really graceful and easy life as professionals, actually. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And hopefully that can inspire you to come and join, because it's looking at a few of your faces now. You're all so nice to look at. I'm like, oh, please just come onto the course, guys, and let's jam it out together and just help each other and encourage each other to move along this path towards financial freedom and keeping our health. And Marc's got all the tools there for you. If you've got the patience to sit through it and the repetition, discipline, it will unfold really nicely. So thank you, Marc.
So you took a 4 or 5 year vacation, you said, and went around the world. Where did you go? That's in that.
Well, we took a one-way. No, well, like I said, we had a marriage crisis. So at one point I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm going to Kathmandu next week. If you want to come. And if you don't, good, I'm going. You know, luckily she said yes. So we all took off with a one-way ticket to Kathmandu. No hotel booked. It was quite a state we were in. And then we lived in India. So Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Australia. And we finished with 6 months in New York City, which was wonderful.
And then you ended up in Bali. You live in Bali?
Yes, then we moved to Bali. and built a house there. We just raised the kids. The kids went to the green school, and we did a lot of homeschool. We homeschooled the kids a lot. So, and now Dali studies fashion in New York, and Finn, he makes his own clothing on Bali. He's a surfer. And Jyoti and I, we just started a new business after not working for so long. We've got our new chiropractic office in Singapore. We love our work, actually, so that makes it a lot easier. But does anyone have any questions for me, maybe, from the group? It's a nice opportunity just regarding the pragmatic part of the course. Does anyone in the group now listening, please ask. I'd be happy to answer any questions if it can encourage you to take the step to join in.
Well,
Don't be shy. Oh, there is other questions.
Something. As I go over these questions, you can jump in, Visma, if you want to contribute anything. I have several questions. How's that? You just jump in if you want to. I really appreciate your story. It makes my day. It always does. I love these stories. You're just remarkable, and it's so gratifying to me. That's the most gratifying thing. Yeah, I've created a good life, but I've found I can show others exactly how to do it, because what I do is incredibly simple. It is very simple. And you nailed something that I really grappled with too, that is really important. And part of our brain keeps thinking, oh, it's got to be more complex than this. It's got to be more complex. And finally, I've convinced my brain that it's not. It's simple. It's simple. And I do think that part of that, whether it's that inner critic or skeptic or whatever it is, that wants to make things more complex, I've finally really realized it's incredibly simple. It's the power of the spoken word. It's the power of affirmations. I decided really on my 30th birthday to look at my life as this experiment. Some friend had told me about Buckminster Fuller, this guy in the 60s who went around, and he said he looked at his life as an experiment. And I just grabbed that word, and I said, okay, that's what I want to do, this experiment. I want to go for my dreams. And do it in my own lazy way. I'd always been lazy. I'd never been a morning person, even as a kid. I'd been a musician and an actor, and you never did a thing before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You never did a thing on Mondays either. And so I like that schedule. So I said, I want to create a successful business, but do it in my own lazy way. My doubts and fears, inner critic just rushed in and said, impossible, Mark. You've got to really work hard. I had all that programming we all have. You have to work hard to succeed. That's what, good work, hard work is a wonderful thing. And we all need to work harder. We don't work hard enough. It's our type A driven workaholic society is the way I see it now. And I said, okay, I want to do this experiment. I will experiment for a year. And I literally said, I was talking, I think out loud to my doubts and fears. I remember the dialogue I had with doubts and fears and inner critic pacing up and down on my 30th birthday in my little slum apartment in Oakland. Funky building, bars on the windows, busy street, gunshots in the streets occasionally. It was not a nice neighborhood. And I was pacing up and down, and I literally said, okay, doubts and fears, give me a year or two to try this as an experiment. And they said, it won't work. And I said, well, look, so give me a year. I insist, I'm going to do this experiment. This is a worthwhile experiment to go for my dreams in my own lazy way. And more. And so then I finally even said to him, if it doesn't work, I'll be no worse off than I am now. I had no job. I had no income, no family support. And so even my doubts and fears had to say, well, yeah, that's true. Can't be much worse.
Well, yeah, that's perfect, right? And Listen, 12 weeks is what we've got on this one. So give it 12 weeks.
Yeah,
Right?
give it, right, a 12-week experiment. And I hope after that you give it to the end of the year.
Mhm.
Try an experiment to really go for it and just blow off those doubts and fears. I just said, get out of here. I'm going to try this experiment. I know you think most of my thoughts thought it would not work. I'd say that definitely the majority of my thinking, but I got around it saying, I'm going to try this experiment. I'm going to be like Buckminster Fuller. Look at my life as an experiment. And
Mark, I like to just chime in there.
Sure.
That was kind of what I had when I picked up the book. I thought, if this guy, Mark Allen, if this can work for me, I'm going to share this work. So in about 2010, we started organizing Millionaire Course groups in the cellar at our house, actually. And we did it one chapter a week. We went through the same group. And I want to share, a lot of those guys were complete poverty cases when we started it all. And that was how many years now? That's like 10, 12 years later. And most of them have actually done really well. There's a question in the chat there. What about for people who aren't 100% sure what goal they want to expand into a business? A lot of those guys weren't that either. And a lot of them ended up taking different paths. I don't know if the group talks with the impetus to get clarity around what they wanted to do. I'm not sure. But to see these people, and we do come back together still every now and then. We have loose contact on Facebook, and we often comment on each other's Facebook posts. But there's other chiropractors in the group. There's artists in the group. There's somebody who helps people get out of debt in the group. There's a varying group of people, but somehow we all resonated with, let's keep it easy. Let's just take it step for step and we'll move forward with it.
Yeah. That is great.
Absolutely. And Mark, Diane is here, but I think her questions are actually next on your list.
Oh, yeah, here they are. Yeah, Diane said, do I have to be on Facebook to take the course? And Amber typed in, Mark, the answer is no. Amber can speak to this more. So
yeah, the answer is no. I know, more and more these days, people just don't want to be on social media, and who can really blame them, right? But I mean, the Facebook group is a great way to connect, but it's not the only way to connect. And we're going to have a private brand new membership site for you guys. So there is really going to be no need to be on Facebook if that's not your jam, if you don't like to be there. So we'll set you up with accountability partners within the group that you guys can get together anyway. Phone, Zoom, definitely doesn't have to be Facebook. So do not worry about that, Diane.
Great. Then the next part, oh, I like this. I already reached my first million. Thanks, Mark, for the powerful audio course. Thank you for taking it and getting it. Instead of focusing solely on finances, now I want to put myself on an expansive, abundant path with regards to human relationships and social capital. Will this course still be relevant to my life? Yes, it's relevant to every aspect of your life. I often even say, rather, the Millionaire Course is a title I've often used instead, success with ease for the courses. And it's success with ease in every area of your life. This does not only apply to money. Money's important. I think of the great quote of my friend Kent Nurburn in his wonderful book, Letters to My Son. He says, money is central to our lives. You can't deny it, yet it has no central importance whatsoever. Kent's a brilliant writer, and that to me really summed up things and really clarified things about this whole goal of being a millionaire. Well, it's not of central importance in your life, but it is central to your life. So I've come to feel it's a great goal being a millionaire because it's so concrete. In these other areas of your life, like human relationships, she says, social capital. I'm not exactly sure what she means. We could talk about that, but the things that fulfill you, that's what's important. And these tools work. These tools work for every area of your life, for sure.
Yeah, that visionary wealth piece, right?
Mhm.
So Bridget is here and she has her hand raised. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask her to unmute. And Bridget, if you want to ask your question, Vismai or Mark can answer it for you.
Great.
Thank you very much. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Bridget.
Hi, nice to see you again. I was very inspired by your other course that I jumped on just 18 months ago, and it's been very helpful. It was to do with, it's something to do with the path. You've written a book about the path, and we had a Facebook group, and it was really wonderful. And you helped me set my dream and my goals to become a successfully published writer and storyteller, traveling the world and with grace, ease, and lightness. It was wonderful, and in that time, and I'm definitely a workaholic and type A, and I collapsed in my work as a nurse manager, and I just wasn't able to do that type of work or be in that kind of environment anymore. And so I've just quietly just kept plugging away at your basic tenets in my life and shaping that goal and shaping that vision for myself. And I can't say enough how helpful it's been. And I've now got a sufficient amount of money saved that that I'm taking this year off as a sabbatical to do exactly what you're saying. Thank you. Thank you. Which is to just keep going with this grace, ease, and lightness, like that analogy you use of a plane and on autopilot, just coming back to the direction, to the path, and looking at my goals regularly and keeping on track. And so, I set a deadline in your course I think it was about 2 years ago, that I wanted to at least have signed up with a publisher or some kind of production company, that I will have that my writing, my little collection of stories will be published. And that deadline was the end of 2022. I'm taking my sabbatical. I'm giving myself to this grace, ease, and lightness, and just giving myself to it 100%. So I'm really looking forward to jumping on this course with you and being a part of this next magical path. That's what you call it, isn't it? The magical path.
Yes, that's my latest book. Yes.
Yes. So thank you for the work that you've been committed to in this way. It's just helped me in innumerable ways. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Bridget. You make it all worthwhile. You really do. Let's see. I'll jump to the next question here. Kevin said, what ways have you seen work the best with manifesting? Vision board, writing goals in a journal, something else? Boy, we just had a long talk yesterday about this with the two wonderful women I work with here, Amber and Mathis. A long talk about it, how the course is different for everyone. And you have an opportunity to find what's best for you. Some people learn visually, and vision boards, that kind of thing, can be really powerful. I've had story after story, and Mathis started telling me stories she knew too, and Amber too. I think we all have stories of people who have made vision boards or very visual things, and then had incredible things happen, and they put their board. I've heard this story dozens of times, literally over the years, because it goes back to the first workshop Shakti, Gawain, and I did. We used to do vision boards where we got a big poster board, and at that time we had a ton of magazines. Now Amber and Mathis would say, oh, you can get it out. You can just Google these images online. We had stacks of magazines. People would cut out what they want to be in their life, whatever it is, their dream house, their dream body, their dream job, their whatever. A vision board, it can be totally, each one is totally unique to that individual. And literally dozens of times people have come to me and said, I took your workshop with Shakti 30 years ago, you know, and often when they start saying that, I know where they're going to go with it, because so many of them say the same thing. They say, you know, I did that vision board thing, and then I put it in my closet and forgot about it. And then I even moved several times. And then 5 years later, 7, 8 years later, whatever, they pull out the vision board and realize they've realized it. They've realized almost everything on their vision board. So that's a powerful thing. Basically, I feel about this course is it's like a buffet. It's a buffet of possibilities, and you design your own. I start with very concrete things like Vismai did the whole list. I start with a very solid, suggested, concrete way of doing that. But then, of course, I always say, make it your own, make it your own, change everything. I'm really into the power of affirmations, and I suggest people use them, but it's also the same as prayer or declarations, and you can change all the words, or you don't have to do it at all if it doesn't make you feel comfortable. There's many millionaires that don't even use some of these tools. I always encourage people, find out what works for you. Be very creative with it.
For us, Mark, we used we started with the vision board, but we found that didn't have enough concreteness to it. You know, it became a dream. And I know those stories for some people that they set the vision in motion and things seem to happen, but I needed a lot more. Goalposts along the way. I needed to have little check marks for myself. The business had grown to this, or, you know, we'd been saving this for this many months, or so we got quite, as the Millionaire Course plan unfolded. And back in the day, I did it, the first time I did this course, you had a beautiful leather-bound 8 CD series with a beautiful book in it. It was really, and so we just wrote all our goals in that envelope, but we got quite detailed with it the further we got into your course. So the further we got into the material of the Millionaire Course, the less dreamy it became, and the more it, you know, it solidified really nicely. And that's kind of an alchemic process in itself, you know, to turn those grand old visions into something very practical that gets kind of tick the box kind of thing, you know?
Yep. To each their own. I get stuff by writing. That's what works for me. But you find what works for you, for sure. Amy asks, how long will it take to achieve my wealth plan? It depends on several things, you know. Definitely depends. I often think when I started, I did a 5-year ideal scene. Maybe if I would have done 3-year, it would have happened faster. I don't know. But for me, 5 years, it's just, that's this little game I first was introduced to when I was like 22 to do that. And it meant nothing to me the first time I played it. But when I turned 30, the game was 5 years. Imagine 5 years. And that's what worked for me. But it's all up to you. It's what you visualize. It's what you affirm. And it's good to have very concrete 1-year goals. It's for the big picture, for the successful company. What worked for me was imagining 5 years. But it's totally up to you. Totally up to you. Oh, here's a fun question. Did you really make your money off something different than seminars teaching others how to make money? I love that question, because that's true. A whole lot of people teach seminars on how to make money, and the way they've made their money is teaching seminars on how to make money, which is okay, I guess. I mean, they've obviously then been successful building a seminar business. But I did first build a very successful publishing company before I wrote the Millionaire Course, and then Visionary Business, and started doing seminars. So it was based on my work other than teaching seminars. The same with Viswai. He didn't make his money teaching people how to do this stuff. He made his money doing this stuff. And then
Yes, very much. It's not this work's not the coaches to teach coaches to coach the coaches to coach more coaches. It's really not that. It's like finding your own niche in your own business and just applying these principles. That's what it is. Yeah, sure.
That's great. And I have just one more question here from Robert. Do I have to attend every session live? And fortunately for me, Amber has answered it in bold here. Marc, the answer is no. Replays of all sessions will be in the private membership site. So everything is all recorded. And if you can't make the live event, you can always go back to it. And they're all recorded and all right there. So you can go over and totally review at length as much as you want, which I really love. Live seminars, they do say people forget like 80% of what they hear quite quickly after a live talk. Well, so it is all recorded, and you can go back and review it at any time. And I always encourage people to review. Just like Visma read my book, how many times? You said 50 times or something.
At least 50 times. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I've done the same thing with, I must have, with a couple books that I'll talk about in the course, As You Think by James Allen, or As a Man Thinketh, has just been a constant companion for me. And now,
yeah, I think, Marc, like when my doubts and fears come up, or when the business wasn't growing as we anticipated, or, when you hit roadblocks and business hurdles that you've always, they're just a part of the game, I guess. I really enjoyed the core belief process. That really helped me.
Yes.
I came back to that time and time again when I wasn't growing like I was growing, or if I had issues with staff, or I had a tricky client to deal with, or I got my inner critic came up. That really helped calm and settle my anxieties and settle my nerves around success, thinking, okay, what's going to happen if that goes wrong? And then what's going to happen if that goes wrong? And it was just a very calming thing. And I just like the tone of the whole course too. It's just, for me, very calming. So just on that note of watching the recordings, I think this can be just a beautiful archive for many years to come in your life, just having these recordings, just with this repetition, and they're kind of timeless things, actually. Like, I feel like I'm starting it all again. We've just started a new business. That's why I want to do the course again. And the kids are old enough to do it now. So they're starting their own businesses too. So I just want to keep that tone in us, so we all keep our mental sanity, and we all keep the relaxed idea of enjoying life like that. Yeah.
That's great.
I've actually got to go, guys, because I've got my first chiropractic clients coming up soon to
start.
Great.
Good for you. Good for you.
Lovely to meet you all. And I hope to see as many as you can on the course. And thank you, Marc.
Sure thing.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much for coming.
Peace. What Visma said reminded me of another quick story. I just have to tell it. Then we've been through the questions, but there's this wonderful guy on the East Coast who graduated from college, went to work for a corporation, was bored out of his mind, and 6 months after, 6 months into the corporate, he found my book, Visionary Business, and he read it and dropped out and started his own company called Collegiate Empowerment, and it started doing really well. And it was all based on the book. He's a real fan. We've had many talks. We're doing a podcast together now for his collegiate crowd and everything. And he started his own company following the book. And then he ran into some real problems and put all his resources into a major working with a major successful author whose name you would know, who then at the last minute just had an assistant text that they were dropping the project. And he had invested everything in the project. he'd broken a few golden rules of business, like don't put your eggs in one basket. He'd put his eggs in one basket, and he was nearly bankrupt. He was in shock when he got the message, and he was surrounded by his staff, and his sales guy literally said, take a walk, get out, go. We don't want your energy around right now. And he kicked him out. So he walked down to the little center of his little town and sat on a bench. And near there, right next to him was one of those little boxes, like a mailbox size, where you deposit a book or you take a book, just a free book, you know. And he looked in there and he saw there was some beat up old children's books and the Book of Mormon. And then he noted behind it was another beat up book, and he reached behind, and it was Visionary Business, that book. And he flipped it open and noticed some notes in the book. It was his original copy of Visionary Business coming back to him. And that blew his mind. And then he just, from what he read, he realized, oh, this is where I blew it. I forgot this part. And bam, he started implementing the stuff I talk about and turned his company around. And I hear amazing stories like that so often.
That's a really good one. Very cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yes. Well, thank you guys all so much. I think it's about time to wrap up. We really appreciate the time that you guys came to spend with us. We would love, even though early bird pricing is over, we would love just the people that are here to offer you $100 off the course. So if you want to sign up, you can use the code QA100 to get an extra $100 off.
Great.
Yeah.
Your satisfaction is guaranteed. If you don't get your money's worth, you can have it back. As Alan Cohen puts it, we only want happy money.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. If you have any other questions, anything else pops up, you can always reach us at marc@marcallenteachings.com. And I hope to see you guys all there. We're very excited. So,
Be well, everybody. Be well.
thank you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.